Schniggity ding dong.
Sniggity
Schniggity
ding
ding dong.
dong.
Hello,
Hello, everyone.
everybody.
Hello. Welcome to the MaeMaeTown podcast on twitch.tv/spotify/youtube.com.org.pnpoo. How are you,
Oh,
Mandy?
I
How are
was
you
waiting for the
today?
dot fart. Do you have
Dot
it
fart? No,
change
not today.
the
We actually
domain?
couldn't get the domain. No, we couldn't get it.
We couldn't get the dot fart?
Couldn't get it. Could not get it.
What? I thought you had all those
Um,
meetings. What happened?
well, you know what? Actually, they said the whole thing is down the toilet.
But,
They said the whole thing's down the toilet.
but the budget.
Which is where I was looking anyway, so
Okay, well, that sucks.
that sucks. It's not ideal, but hey, at least we got P and Pooh and me and you.
Oh my
So,
god. I love
all
that.
right,
I love that
right.
so much. Who actually has dot fart? I'm kind of scared to look that up, honestly. Dot fart.
God, who knows?
You want to take one for the
Who
team?
knows? Yeah, I will.
We literally just started the podcast. I hope that everyone has been well. I hope everyone has been well this past week. We had a great, well, I had a great podcast episode with Marcus Hedges last time.
Yeah, yeah.
He is such a wonderful person. So much fun to chat with him. I hope that you guys enjoyed that episode as much as I did. We just nerded out about Zelda music. We talked a little bit about our favorite TV shows that we're watching at the moment, our favorite video game soundtracks. Soundtracks?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't I finish that sentence? I don't know why. Sometimes your brain just farts out, you know what I mean?
No, we don't have that. Sorry, we don't have that.
But yes, it was a lovely professional conversation with Marcus Hedges, who is an incredibly talented video game composer. If you're not familiar with him, go watch or listen to the last episode. I will say
Yeah, yeah.
the
Very fun
video,
episode.
yeah, very fun. The video unfortunately got kind of frigged up. I think my internet was, I don't know what happened. We look like Minecraft characters. Quite a few times throughout the video, but the audio is great. So if you'd
Yeah,
rather,
very cool of
yeah,
him to come on and actually take his time
mm-hmm,
to do that. So very fascinating to like hear his person as a musical professional.
yes.
Probably the first professional you've had on the podcast.
Yeah, he's my first guest besides you. So he's the first
That's true.
one, which is really cool because it's really cool because like I have admired his work for so long, and so for him to be the first like official guest is really
Yeah,
cool.
because at this point I'm just pseudo co-host.
You are, yeah, you're the co-host, I guess, like unless there's interviews with like other people. There will be times I have people in my head where I would like you to be there. I think it does get kind of
Yeah.
complicated over like Discord because you can't really control like audio levels that well, you know, like because Discord kind of ducks
Yeah.
audio at times, so I feel like it could be a mess if there's more than like two people. But we'll figure it out hopefully soon because I want you to be
Hopefully
there
soon. Hopefully soon.
for some of those, of course. But
For when we get like Grant Kirkhope
oh
and Stephen
yeah,
Yeun. Can I be there for the Stephen Yeun?
of course.
Steven, I love
Steve, I
you.
love you.
Steven.
Steven, why won't you call
Steven.
me?
Steven's
What do y'all know
he's
about
been a little coy
Kesha?
lately. But yeah, what's going on with that?
What do y'all
I
know
actually listened
about
to
Kesha?
this is not relevant anymore, but Kesha released that new song. Did you listen to it?
Which one?
It was like kind of newish, wasn't it?
Oh,
What was it
I
called?
I haven't
It
been
released
keeping
like a month
tabs
or
on
two ago.
her. I haven't been keeping tabs on her in a
Let me
while.
look it up. I'm gonna look it up. What was
I
it called?
I know about
Kesha.
Noodle Says Joyride.
Yeah, Joyride.
I haven't
Uh,
heard that yet.
when was that released?
Recently?
Very interesting, I'll say. Yeah, it was recently. It was let's see. Released this year. A couple months ago maybe?
Noodle Says Summer Jam, so it must have come out this summer.
Yeah, yeah. It was different from her usual stuff, but very good. Very
Mm-hmm.
catchy. I like it. Yeah.
Last I heard was recent. Um, on on her, what am I saying? The music video for Timber with Pitbull that she did. They took her name out of the title for some reason, but
And the thumbnail, she's not in it.
which is insane. But I know that Pitbull addressed it immediately and was like, "I had no Like, I love
No, you know
Kesha.
he's
I
not.
have no
He's not
choice in
editing the
that.
thumbnails.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's nothing.
he's on my
So
bucket list too. Concert bucket list, Pitbull.
I swear I've seen him in concert
I think you would
because
remember
no, but like I wasn't paying attention. But like we had a festival which had like major music performances
a festival. Okay.
in my town, and this was like 15 years ago at
Hmm.
this point. Um, and I swear he was one of the musicians there. But it's hard to look up because it was 15 years ago.
Right. I guess, yeah.
I have to follow up my sister, but I'm fairly certain it was him.
Hmm.
When we get my sister on the podcast, that's what we'll do.
Oh, I would
We'll
love
ask
to
her
have
about
your
that.
sister on the podcast. That would be a
That
ride.
I think that would have to be like I feel like we record the video and edit
So
around.
not live.
No, definitely
Okay.
not.
Okay. We can drive
I,
out to them and we can record it. She can show
that'd
us
be
the
actually.
sugar gliders.
She could show us the little sugar
They're
gliders.
so cute.
They are very cute. They are very cute. Was he a big thing 15 years ago? I think
JT. That was his prime.
that was his prime, right?
Yeah, because I was
15 years ago, that was 2003.
oh no, wait, 2003.
What am I talking about?
No, I don't
My
think it was
math is off.
15 years ago for you.
Sorry, that's 20 years ago. That's 21 years ago.
He like
Uh,
hit the scene in like
my math is
2008.
off. Pretend I didn't say that. Can we start over? Can we start this podcast over? I did
Yeah,
embarrassing math.
that's
That
actually
was
really
21.
embarrassing.
I was looking at the wrong number.
I mean,
I was looking at the time.
he
Chad, I was
is
looking at the time.
timeless. He is timeless, so I'll give you that. It's easy to mix that up with Pitbull
Yeah.
because he's a timeless figure.
Thank you
Um,
so much for giving me the out. You're very kind.
you're welcome. But no, he first like really hit the scene in like 2007 because I was in middle school, going to middle school
Yeah.
dances, and yeah, Hotel Room Service was the song of the middle school dances.
I'll say I'm not great with celebrities or like yeah, I'm not great with celebrities in general, like knowing who's who and what's what, but I'm
Pop
fairly
culture.
certain it was him.
You're
Pop
yeah, you
culture.
don't know pop culture in general.
It depends on what it is. Like
Hmm.
if it's video, like you talk about video games,
Well,
Nintendo,
yeah.
like that was my outlet when I was like a kid and a teen. Was like we'd go to Blockbuster Video all the time.
Hmm.
It was my favorite place on earth. I think we talked about this last time. I love Blockbuster Video,
Who
but
doesn't?
I was there just to rent a video game. I'm sifting through their Super Nintendo, their N64, all that stuff. Not to completely age myself here, but that was what I like to do. So like, you
Hmm.
ask me about that stuff, I'm good to go.
Yeah. Oh, I love
But I didn't
Blockbuster.
really like. I don't know. It just felt like a wasted trip if I went there and rented a movie because I would watch it
Hmm.
once. I liked movies enough, fine. I would watch it once and then I would be like, okay, well now I have this for a week.
Right. That's
Now
how I
what,
feel
right?
about any because you can still rent movies now on Amazon, and I'm just like, why don't I just buy it? It's almost the same price.
Yeah,
It's like you have 48 hours to watch this. Like,
but I'm only gonna
it's not
watch
gonna
it
take me
once.
that long. I'm watching it. The reason I'm renting it right now is because I'm about to sit my ass on the couch and watch it. I don't
Yeah,
need
I
48
just don't
hours.
want to. Yeah,
But
unless it's
no,
really good and I gotta watch it again. But
yeah,
like,
no,
I think on.
I loved going to Blockbuster so much. And it's cool that you could rent games like that at Blockbuster. Like, what a good
Oh yeah,
concept.
I think it was like $7. It was like
Hmm.
basically $1 a day to rent these things.
Yeah.
To rent it for a week, but the newer games would be like a 2 day rental kind of thing if you're
Ooh.
a little spicy. And I remember that being the case. My mom would try to like discourage me from renting the newer stuff,
Hmm.
just because it wasn't worth it. But I was fine with that. You know, I was a kid and everything had come out basically already.
Yeah.
So that's why I would go. Like my Blockbuster held on to the like Super Nintendo games and N64 games for a really long time. And I've been going to Blockbuster like since I was like 4 or 5 years old, right? I
Hmm.
was born in '92, so I'm 87 years old right now,
Yeah.
and so like those games were in their prime at the time.
Hmm.
Um, and I just, oh god, that feeling of just sifting through the Super Nintendo games. If they had the case, if they had the Blockbuster case
Hmm.
behind the actual box, then you knew they had them in stock. Oh
Hmm.
god,
You know what's
that's such
crazy
a great feeling.
is
Hmm?
when I did my French immersion program, when I did my French study abroad in Quebec, I was staying with a host family with like three other girls from, one was from New York, another girl was from China, and another girl was from France. So
Yeah.
I loved my host house because we all came from different places. Well, the girl from New York, kind of similar, but also she was from the north, I was from the south. So she like she loved like southern culture, but she
Yeah.
was northern, you know what I mean? So I remember we went to a Blockbuster. And this was in like 2018. There was still a Blockbuster in this little town in Quebec. Or something.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was a Blockbuster. I don't think it was some kind of like other video rental. I
It
think
wasn't.
it was
Yeah, it wasn't like an
Blockbuster.
independent video. Wow,
No, I
really? I thought it was.
remember.
I thought it was in Oregon. I thought that's where the last Blockbuster was. Wow, that's interesting.
I'm pretty sure it was Blockbuster. I could be wrong, but
That's
it
so
felt,
cool.
it had the vibe of Blockbuster.
Maybe, yeah, I could see it still thriving in like a
Hmm.
small town where like Highway Joe doesn't know how to
Yeah.
uh do a Netflix, right?
Yeah.
He just has to get a he has to buy Armageddon on
Hmm.
a VHS,
Well, you
right?
know
And how are you gonna do that?
what movie we rented?
What'd you rent?
Shawshank Redemption in French.
Oh, in French? Hey,
Yeah,
there you
because
go.
everything that I did had to be in French. And of
That's right.
course,
Didn't you
like,
get expelled if you didn't speak French?
yeah, so this program, I did my senior year of college because I minored in French. So I had to complete like 18 hours of French study. And the quickest way to do that is studying abroad. So if you're in school and you need to knock out, I mean, for any like major or minor, if you need to knock out a bunch of credits, go abroad. Like just
Yeah.
go to Canada even because it'll be cheaper and you'll knock out like 6 hours in like a couple months. And so for this program specifically, it was in Quebec in a little town called Chicoutimi. It's about
So,
what?
sorry, I
Don't
didn't mean to
laugh.
laugh. Don't laugh.
Don't laugh.
Obviously,
What am I gonna
don't
do?
let words.
Not pronounce it the way it's supposed to be pronounced?
What was it called again?
Chicoutimi.
No laughing. See.
So you did a good job. It was about 2 hours from Quebec City. So if you have any idea where that, and Quebec City is like a couple hours from Montreal. You were not allowed to speak a word of English for 5 weeks. And if you were caught speaking it 3 times, you got sent home. And
That's
a
wild.
lot of Canadians got sent home the first week because they didn't have to pay for it, so they didn't give a shit.
The stakes were higher for you.
The stakes were higher for me and everybody else that wasn't Canadian because it was like a $3,000 to $5,000 program.
That's crazy.
So I
We should
couldn't
do the
go home.
podcast in French.
Okay. No way.
Okay.
I like it's been since 2018. That was like the last time that I had people to speak French with. So it's been like, you know, like
I think you could
6
pick it up
years.
pretty quick. I
No, I
think you could do it.
can. I've tried to practice it on my own, just like trying to remember like conversations, like how to have a conversation, like pretending to have it with somebody. And
Yeah.
I think I
Well, we
could.
we talked about this kind of last stream where we've been watching Daryl Dixon again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Again, we've been watching the Daryl Dixon show.
Yeah.
Um, and that obviously takes place in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like people speaking French everywhere, and there's like French signs. And like while we're watching it, you're translating them for me. So I'm like, yeah, you still got it. You still do have it.
Yeah,
Because even
I
though I'm
do.
Canadian and like our official second language is French, nobody here in Southern
Mm-hmm.
Ontario knows a freaking lick of French. I promise you.
I know every time I tell somebody about you, they're like, "Oh, does he speak French?" I'm like, "No." It's the same
Hell no.
it's the same in America where you have to take like Spanish.
Hmm.
You have to take a language. We feel the same way about learning second languages here if your first language is English. It's just kind of like, yes, I I could speak like a few words of it, but I don't care that much. Now,
Yeah.
not for me. Like I value speaking different languages and I do love like learning different languages, but for the majority, like it's the same in Toronto, like where it's just kind of like, oh, we had to learn it in school, but we dropped it after school, like, you know.
Yeah, like our cereal boxes have French on them.
Mm-hmm.
Our game cases as well. They have French
I think that's
like
really
versions.
cool. That's what I love about
Um,
coming to Canada is like seeing French everywhere. It's just like, oh, I know what that means. I mean, I
I don't
know
even notice.
I speak Spanish as well. Obviously, growing up in the South, like there's a lot of Spanish spoken here, so same thing. But I just love like because I didn't grow up with seeing French everywhere, so it's cool that that's like the secondary, like not even secondary, because in Canada like you have Quebec, which is like a French speaking province, right?
Yeah,
Here it's
yeah.
just kind of like all over the place. You have Spanish, you have all kinds of different languages. So I think it's cool because Canada
You think
really feels like America in a lot of ways, but it's like there's a lot of
it's
like
like a
French
weird,
culture.
bizarro version where there's like here it's usually Spanish, but now it's French kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same experience.
Yeah.
Here it's Duncan, here it's Tim's.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same experience overall. It's just in a different font.
Yeah, America and Canada
So
feel like it's like parallel universe kind of. It's
yeah,
like flipped.
yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. I love going to Canada.
Um, are you the bizarro version of me?
I would say so. I would say
Yeah,
that's
I would say
accurate.
so.
Yeah.
I say we're fairly synced up on most things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I was talking about the program. Yeah, so there
Yeah.
were a lot of people, like people that I met who were Canadian, who in the first like 2 weeks they went home. Like they just didn't show up to class, and the teacher was like, "Oh yeah, they got sent home." And they were
They probably
very
live down the street.
yeah, exactly. They probably were like a 2 hour train ride. Um, I met some really cool Canadian girls who, one of them lives in Hamilton, who I've been trying to meet up with her like every time I go. And we just like, we always have something to do and we can't.
We got
And
to meet up
then
with your friends.
I know. And then there's
Yeah.
another girl in, I think a couple girls in Calgary, I think.
Okay.
But they introduced me to ketchup chips. I remember
Oh,
after school one day they drove because somebody had a car, so like they drove all of us to the dollar store, and they're like, have you ever had ketchup chips? And I was like, what are ketchup
you're like,
chips?
what did?
And we sat in the car and I tried it and I was like, what the hell, why don't we have this?
It's crazy. Am I bringing those, by the way?
To Florida?
When I come to Florida in a couple days, am I bringing those again?
If it's no trouble.
Hey, it's no trouble. They sell it in the airport.
Yeah, I
So
would say yes, please.
I'll pick some, of course, of course.
I love ketchup chips, but it's kind of like it's like a vinegary kind of flavor, so it does hurt your mouth after a while.
Oh yeah,
But
it's a
man, it's
painful one.
good. Mm, mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm. Um,
Um, sorry, what were you
sorry.
gonna say?
No,
No,
but
hey, you first. I insist.
no, but I had a great time. And I really did like become really proficient in French. Like you take a proficiency test when you first arrive, and then the very last day you take another one. And
Yeah.
when I took the last one, I was at 70% fluency.
Ooh.
Now that's changed since then,
Can you do like an
obviously.
you got to do like an online proficiency test. I want to see. I want to see what
Yeah,
that's at.
I would like to try that again because I know it's way less now, but it was cool because like and now I don't drink anymore. I don't do anything like that. But when I
Yeah.
was there, I was still partaking, and one of the fun things to do because like the program assistants, they were all like college age students.
Yeah.
So at night or like on the weekends, you would go out to the bar and they would be there, and you could have conversations with them for hours in French. And a lot of the times you were like buzzed, at
Yeah.
least. And you would be surprised at how well you can speak another language when you're under the influence.
Really? That's kind of
Yes.
interesting.
It was a really cool experience because I don't know, something about like the inhibitions being like taken away where you have confidence and you're just like, yeah, like you're
Yeah,
using all
maybe you
kinds of
like doubt
slang.
yourself
Yes,
less. Yeah,
absolutely.
as you're speaking.
The
Yeah, I can
nerves
see that.
the nerves kind of go away, and it like opens your I'm not advocating to do anything to drink or do anything like that because I don't. But like at the time it was a cool experience, like seeing how much I opened up being in that environment,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. and you really feel like you're fluent in French because you have no idea what's going on. And no one's going to judge you either, even the people who are native Quebecois,
Yeah.
you know? But no, it was so much fun. I wish I could do something like that again, but obviously I'm
God,
an
big
old
respect
fart
to people who
now.
are bilingual. I feel like my information retention is zero.
Mm-hmm.
So like I wanted to learn different languages,
Mm-hmm.
right? I used to buy not okay. So every like weeb kid, they play their games, they watch their anime, they're like, I want to speak Japanese. Legitimately, I used to collect like import games,
Mm-hmm.
and I love things like Dragon Quest and like RPGs like that, mainly Dragon Quest. And I used to buy. I have a collection of every single um, Dragon Quest game in Japanese and English.
Mm.
Like it's my biggest game collection, and I wanted to actually physically play those, but I don't know the language. So I
Mm-hmm.
will say, like, to enjoy a lot of the media I like, a lot of it does originate in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, of course, like every nerdy kid, want to speak that at some point. I've kind
Yeah.
of lost that desire through like, you know, modern means. These
Mm-hmm.
games get translated. We got Google Translate. It still would be cool, but I just don't have that drive anymore. I feel like I tried through like YouTube tutorials, which like
Yeah.
when you're 16 years old watching YouTube tutorials on how to speak Japanese, you're probably not going to do it. It's probably
No,
not going to happen.
yeah, it's definitely like an everyday, if you actually want to learn how to speak like fluently, it's an everyday commitment for at least an hour a day, maybe more.
Yeah,
And you have to speak with somebody. Like that is the only way that you're going to become, fluent. I've seen people on TikTok who can speak like 10 different languages and they just taught themselves with like without living in the country or anything like that. But I would say
yeah.
for like the average person, you need to go to that country and immerse yourself into the culture and everyday life and like going
I
to
would need to
coffee
do
shops
that.
and stuff and ordering in that language.
I don't have the self like discipline to
Mm-hmm.
like learn on my own.
Yeah.
Uh, people like someone has to hold me accountable,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be able to do it myself.
Right. I mean, I agree.
For other
Like,
things maybe, but not for language
yeah.
retention.
I agree. Like, the only reason I learned French is because I was in college and I needed to choose a minor. I majored in film, so I was like, what the hell am I going to minor in? I don't really want to minor in some kind of like communications or business. I was like, I wanted to learn a language. And I had taken Spanish up until college. So I was like, I want to do
Yeah.
something different. I thought about learning German because I am part German and I have family in Germany. But I was like, oh, that sounds like it's going to be a little bit difficult. And then there
Yeah.
was French, and I was like, well, French is really cool. And I can, I learned that I could combine my French studies with my film studies because we have like a French film class that could count towards both my French minor and my film major. So I was like, ooh, let me consolidate here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean the discipline necessary to pass those classes is every day, you have class two times a week, my I will say I had for freshman year, it was weird. Like I had a main professor for the whole time, but I also had an adjunct professor one semester. And
Okay.
so funny, this adjunct professor is also an actor. And
Okay.
when I had him one semester, like the first day of class, which I guess he probably does this with every single class, he pulls up his IMDb page to show everybody, like, oh yeah, I'm an actor. I've acted in, television and all this stuff. And we're like, okay, yeah, like, sure, everyone can be like a background extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy, my French professor, was the doctor in Parks and Rec. And he's teaching me French.
Okay.
And he is
That's
like
actually really super cool.
if you are a fan of Parks and Rec, you know exactly which doctor I'm talking about because his performance is iconic. He delivers this like dry humor and he's so funny. And he was
I had
teaching
no
me
idea you
French.
met that person. I didn't get to
I
that
didn't know I
part,
was
so
going
I
to
don't
meet
know
him
who that
either.
is, but that's really cool though. You have a lot of like weird
I
celebrity
know.
interactions and stories.
Well, I went to school in Nashville, and Nashville is a really weird place for the entertainment industry. Like
Yeah.
the school I went to, and this might give it away where I went to school, but it doesn't matter. We had all kinds of like like celebrity family members that went there.
Yeah.
One, weirdly enough, was Frankie Jonas. He was in my film program for like a semester, and then he left because I don't know why. I think he got, I don't know. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to like put words that aren't
Put
true.
false goss out there.
But I know he was in my film program for like a semester. I think it was during my, I took a hiatus for a year, and I think it was during
Yeah.
that time. But no, he was there, and then we had Justin Timberlake's brother was in my class, the same year as me. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I've been telling myself this since college. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
Elvis Presley's relative was in my year as well. Cuz
Oh.
there's a guy named, it's like, I don't think it's true, but like there's so many indications that this guy is related to Elvis. His last name is Presley, first of all.
Okay, that's the first giveaway.
I can't remember his first name, but
Elton.
it's like what is his first name? I shouldn't dox him, that's weird. He looks just
Somebody
like
Google it.
Elvis.
Is our stream up still? I feel like we're dropping frames.
Are we? Can people confirm that we're dropping frames?
Chat, are we dropping frames?
I don't know what's
Are we
going on with
good?
my internet recently, but hopefully it's fine.
Hopefully it's fine.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Um
Whatever, we got it recording.
yeah, we're dropping. Okay, I wish I could fix
Dang
that.
it.
Hopefully the audio isn't
Hey.
jeopardized. But
MaeMaeTown editing.
if it
Well,
is,
let's
I'll
take
cut
a.
it out.
We'll cut this part out. Let's say when we're gonna resume.
Okay.
Let's just hang out.
All
What?
right. The good news is I'm doing a separate recording of my streams, so I mean that could be why, but also like this happened last time and I wasn't recording,
Yeah.
so I don't know. But as long as the audio is fine, okay. But
Okay, audio's
anyways,
good. Hey, that's good.
anyway,
Elton Presley.
so yeah, this guy looks just like Elvis Presley. His last name is Presley. It's a school in Nashville, which if you know anything about Elvis, Tennessee, he plays the guitar. He's a musician.
Mm.
So I'm like, but I think I asked around and they were like, no, he's not actually related to Elvis. And I'm like, I think you're
Maybe it's just
lying.
if you have the last name Presley, like
And you look like him.
I feel like I would lean into that as well. I feel like I
I
would
would
be like,
lie to
yeah, I guess
people.
I'm destined to learn the guitar and
Yeah.
like get my vocal game up. Like that's what I'm doing. I think that's and like I
Yeah.
would monetize that somehow.
I just think that it's like there are too many like indications that remind me of Elvis, or that like, you know, like just being in Nashville alone. I'm like, what are the odds that
Yeah.
he's at a music business school? He looks like Elvis. His last name is Presley. I feel like I'm talking too much about this guy who has no idea I exist.
We'll send it to him after
We
this.
had mutual friends. Oh, I just remembered his first name, but I'm not going to say it.
What is it? Can I Google it?
Yeah, I mean, you can Google. He will pop up, I'm sure, because he's like I haven't looked at his page in a while, but I'm pretty sure that he's like he's a working musician.
Okay, maybe we won't do it unless he wants the free shouty.
I don't know because we never talked.
So unrelated to all that, we're listening to a lot of Elton Presley lately.
Elton Presley.
So shout out to him.
I don't know. I'm just like I believe in my heart. I mean, who knows? Elvis probably had so many illegitimate children.
Oh yeah, you know that guy's friggin'
So
around. Well, he was.
so the family might not know about this kid, but I do.
I guess he wouldn't have the same last name.
Right, which leads me to believe that he is related to Elvis Presley, because how many people do you know, or does anyone know, with the last name Presley who
I've never
lives
met
in
another
Tennessee, looks like Elvis, and is a professional musician?
I just haven't met another Presley in my life.
Anyways, I'm gonna stop putting this guy on blast. But another
You should get him on the podcast.
yeah, like, hey, I was making up lies about you on my podcast.
I
Would you
was
like to be
running
a
my
guest?
mouth, admittedly,
Yeah.
and it's been a problem, and now I feel bad. So to absolve me of guilt, can you please join me?
He comes on and I'm just like, so what's your favorite food? Do you like bananas? Do you like peanut
Do you like bananas?
butter? Do you like bread?
What
You know
do
what
you
funny?
feel about Waffle House?
Oh my god, I was literally just about to go into that. So some my dad is so funny. Um like my family, like, we're an Elvis family. My dad grew up in that era and I know he loves Elvis.
Yeah,
My grandparents were actually supposed to go see him in concert when they were, I think, before they had my dad, and something came up and they
really.
couldn't go, and they still talk about it. But when we were kids, we grew up going to Waffle House. We love Waffle House, right? And
Mhm.
I think because, like, my brother, he would always get like a triple order of hash browns, smother it in ketchup, and then he'd get a Coke, which is like the most unhealthy thing, to get
That
at Waffle
sounds
House.
delicious.
It's, yeah, I mean, I love the hash browns, of course, but I think because he would get it so much, my dad wanted to like scare us a little bit. And so we all know how Elvis died, right?
On the toilet, let's
He
go.
died on the toilet because he was constipated. And so
Would honestly it be like that sometimes?
right, I feel like I'm dying, yeah. Literally, I'm
Like,
like
I guess I live here now.
I remember when the movie came out, everyone was like, "Are they gonna do the scene?
Are they gonna do the toilet
Are
scene?
they gonna do the toilet scene?" But anyways, so we were eating at Waffle House when I was a kid. I think I was probably a preteen, maybe like 11, 12 years old. And
Yeah.
my dad was like, "Y'all know how Elvis died, right?" And we are like, "How did he die?" And he was
Tell
like,
us, grandfather.
"Tell us." Well, it was my dad, but
Tell us,
anyways,
father.
he was like, "Well, he died in a Waffle House bathroom." He
I love
died on the toilet in a Waffle House bathroom taking a
I
shit.
love harmless lies to kids. That's
And
very
you
funny
want
to
to know
me.
the crazy thing? Up until like a few years ago, I believed it. I
A
was
few
in my
years
early
ago is
20s.
crazy. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying if we're doing people with kids, close your ears, mute the stream. If we're doing the Santa Claus thing, let's do Elvis on that Waffle House toilet. Might as well while we're here, right? What's the harm?
I mean, if I ever have kids, which the jury's still out on that, but I will be telling my kids that Elvis died in a Waffle House bathroom on the toilet.
You're gonna have to give them a lot of Elvis backstory lore. But that's the most important takeaway. That's the most important takeaway.
It's like,
Speaking of old music, can I do a hard shift here for a second?
yes, please, for the love of God.
Please help.
Help.
Uh, Chad, if somebody were to say to you, if they were to come up to you on the street and they would say, "You're gonna be so mad at me. You're gonna be so mad
Oh
at me.
my God.
You're already tired of this." If somebody were to come up to you on the street and say, "Hello, my friend, would you be able to do the hokey pokey and turn yourself
Oh
around?"
my God. Guys, I can't even tell you.
If you were to do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around, now initially you're thinking, all right, I'm a pro at this. I'm a seasoned hokey pokey veteran. Okay, it's my time to shine. I thought this wouldn't be a transferable skill in my life, but here we are. This moment has come. My canon event. Um, you know, but then you really think about it, right? Let's think about this, chat. What do you do in this moment? Now, Mandy is obviously very tired of talking about this because we've been talking about this lately. Uh, we've been
This is a
discussing.
debate that will end a marriage.
Yes. Thankfully, I've been having a lot of fun with it, but but I was thinking about this song, right? And here's my problem with the Hokey Pokey. The Hokey Pokey, what is it? Controversy, if you will.
Mm.
Now, shout out to Ray Anthony, the creator of the Hokey Pokey, right?
Shout out.
Yeah, Noodle. So Noodle in the Twitch chat.
Oh God.
Shout out to the Twitch chat, by the way, says, I don't remember how to do The Hokey Pokey. Well, it's not just you. People just think, hey, we've been tricked. Okay, we've been tricked as a species.
As
We've
a
been
human
tricked
race.
into thinking that this is a basic technique that you are taught at birth. Okay, the first thing you learn upon being born, when they born the baby, you learn how to do the Hokey Pokey,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh, they want to know why I know the creator of the Hokey Pokey. Listen, this is a deep dive that I've already gone on,
Yeah.
much to the dismay of May.
Mm-hmm. The dismay, if you will.
Yeah, it's the dismay MaeMaeTown. Um, so let's see. Let's break this down real quick,
Yeah,
just really quick.
please.
I
I
just
would
want a
love
quick
to hear
tangent.
this.
You put your right foot in, out again. Get it out of here. You do that a couple times. You turn it. What do? You turn it all about. What is it?
You don't even know, and you're trying to like prove a point.
Sorry. No. You shake it all about. I got my point. Don't
No.
worry about that. Foot in, foot out. Shake it all about, and then you do the Hokey Pokey. And then you proceed to turn it all around. I thought, here's my problem, chat, and also Spotify listeners. I thought the entire thing, the entire process of which they were telling me, was the process of the Hokey Pokey.
Mm-hmm.
Was it not? Was it okay? Here's my interpretation of the scene. Somebody has said, "Hey, welcome to the fun dance. We're going to teach you a new dance, and this dance is called the Hokey Pokey. We're workshopping the name. We might stick with it. We might not. Um, but you say, here's how you do this new dance called the Hokey Pokey. Step 1, foot in. Step 2, foot out. Step 3, shake it all about. Step 4, Hokey Pokey." Now, what the hell? Something got lost in the sauce a little bit because I thought I was already doing it. What were those first 3 steps about? Right? What were they about? Now, I've been met with some heat regarding this online. Now, I kind of have to watch what I say in certain
Online.
online spaces.
It's just me.
The Ray Anthony community is seething at me right now. They were hoping, since 1904, where the frig he made the song. When was it? 58?
It was
What
like
was
the
it?
50s.
It was the 50s. I think it was 50.
Our grandparents were doing this dance
Yeah.
when it came out.
They were hoping we didn't notice, but they're starting to notice. I'm starting to notice. You want to talk about woke culture? I'm on to you, Hokey Pokey. I'm paying attention. All
Tinfoil
right,
hat is going on.
it's on, and I think we've been tricked. Now, there's a couple theories because I know you disagree with me, and I'm going to open the floor to you in a second.
Yeah, please.
But I'm about to go sleep on the couch.
The virtual couch.
Well, first of all, I didn't realize that she was such a Ray Anthony loyalist prior to this conversation. Had I known, I may have kept my mouth shut, but I didn't. And now we're in this mess, and I got to just keep going. I got to double down, in fact, triple down even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, let's go couch stream. Okay, so my first theory is that the entire thing is not the Hokey Pokey. In fact, this is a song and dance that is without title. It's kind of like, here's all these dance moves, right? We're just having a good time. We're putting our feet in and out and shaking it all about. And now we're about to drop the coolest announcement. We've come up with a new dance move, and it's called the Hokey Pokey. But it's only available if you watch it physically happen. You have to be at the live events to see what the hell the Hokey Pokey is. Okay? But if you miss it, you're screwed. So the whole thing isn't instructions on how to do the Hokey Pokey. It's all a reveal. It's kind of genius, right? You think we're just doing a regular dance. No. You can do your foot in and foot out and shaking it all about to any old song. But we're about to drop the hottest dance move on you. You can bust this out at weddings, family gatherings, the grocery store if you want to. Okay? But it's called the Hokey Pokey. So turn your life around.
Just turn your life around. You ingrate. You piece of shit.
You garbage man. Anyway, I just needed to get that off my chest. I hope people see where I'm coming from. This has been kind of eating me up for the past week or so,
Yeah, it
2 weeks,
has.
month. It has been, and we talked about it for a while. Um, we didn't really come to a conclusion, but you had a point about it, didn't you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And my point is that the right foot in, the right foot out, the left foot in, the left foot out. What my interpretation is when they say you do the hokey pokey is they are informing you of the dance that you are doing currently. Like, by the way, this is the hokey pokey that we're doing right now.
Okay, I see that interpretation as well. I see
Yeah.
that. By the way, we tricked you the entire time we're doing a hokey pokey. The only thing I have against that, which is like I think that's a good theory, but the contradicting evidence to this is they tell you in the wording. Now I've done, I've looked at the song in different languages. I've translated it back and forth to English. Um, in all versions of the song, they say, "Do the hokey pokey," as if to command you to now do this pokey hokey pokey. Right? They didn't say you just did it. You've now done. I would have liked that. Like, hey, you're doing this thing. Guess what? Guess what, chat? You've just done the hokey pokey. You fools! I tricked you into doing the hokey pokey. Got him. But I don't think that's the case. I just wording wise, I feel like linguistically, I think that's not what they're saying. I could see it, but
I think that with dances like this, they always tell you what you're doing at some point. Um, Noodle says is kind of like the Charlie Brown in the Cha Cha Slide. Now I think that is you're doing a dance within a dance, because the Charlie Brown is a dance move separate from the Cha
yeah,
Cha Slide, right? It's like in there's a Baha Men song, Move It Like This,
right.
where they say a bunch of dance moves for each city does a different dance move, right? But in this
Yes.
particular situation, the hokey pokey, I feel like they they say, by the way, you're doing the hokey pokey, to because like when this came out, whenever there was like a dance move, a new dance move, they had to make it known what the dance move is so that people could do it, right? Like, because
Well,
dancing
they're
with,
in the era of creating dance moves,
yeah,
right? Like they're like, hey, we can just do whatever we want. We could be the next big hit.
right. That era, dancing at large gatherings was like what people did, like going
Yeah.
to the sock hops and stuff like that. You know, they'd have television crews there at these schools, and you know, they would be learning new dance moves and all that kind of stuff. So I think that the hokey pokey is just another example of that, where it's like, by the way, if you don't know, this dance is the hokey pokey. That's my take.
Yes.
That's
Now,
my take.
I think that's valid. I think it's a valid interpretation of it. But then you think about what do you do during the hokey pokey?
What they just told you
That
to
part of the
do.
song. Yes. But do I do it all again? So
Yeah,
foot in, foot out, shake it all
you
about.
repeat.
You do the hokey pokey and turn it around. So I do foot in, foot out, shake it all about, and now I do that again and then turn it around.
No, they're saying
What?
you do it again after you turn around. You repeat.
But the step in the song is you do the hokey pokey and you turn it around. So what am I doing during that part of the song?
You're just grooving.
Okay. So is doing the hokey pokey just grooving then?
Well, it's the dance moves that they say before that, and then the hokey pokey is also kind of like a little shimmy, and then you turn around and you do the whole thing again.
Yes.
Like, it's
Okay.
kind of like the hokey pokey's like you do the hokey pokey and you like do little finger wags, and then you turn around and then you do the whole thing over again.
Yeah. Now I feel like everybody kind of improvises at that point,
Right.
right? Because we watched videos of people performing this hokey pokey mess,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like it was different every time.
Right.
People just kind of take that time to friggin' get
It's
down,
just cut a
right?
rug. Cut a rug.
Yeah. Now, if they had said that,
What if they
hey,
had
do
said
whatever
cut
the
a
frig you
rug? My
want.
eyes are closed because I
Well,
need
no.
to. I need to step away for a second.
All right. Um,
You ever just need
Okay.
to step away for a second? Like, hold on.
mentally,
I just
mentally, I
need
need to
to.
not.
Okay.
um, I am curious. I legitimately want feedback on this, on
Well,
this debate.
I think that Noodle says that we just created the next blue, black, and white gold dress debacle.
I've tried looking this up. I've tried to see if anybody has the same conundrum,
Mm-hmm.
the same questions. I feel like for such a socially ingrained dance,
Mm-hmm.
nobody knows what the hell it is. What a
Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah.
And guess what? Big news. Mandy jokingly says, "Why don't you just ask the creator of the Hokey Pokey?" We're like, "There's no shot he's still alive." Chat, he's still alive.
He's
He is.
102. What?
I think he's like 103 or something like that.
He's
Ray
still
Anthony
alive.
is still big alive.
We could
And
get
not
him on
only
the
that, he
podcast.
shares the same birthday as me, January
Yeah.
20th. Isn't that a crazy coincidence?
Yeah. He was
Isn't that
born.
nuts?
He was born in like 1909 or something, right?
Something stupid. Like he wasn't really that young when he came up with that dance. I feel like he was trying to get one last um big hit.
Yeah.
But shout out to him. He's still alive. And
I,
I don't think he's creating music because I don't think he could probably do
no.
that much. That's what I'm thinking though. So people are saying maybe give him some fan mail,
We
and
looked
that's
into
exactly what you're
that.
saying.
We looked into
We
that.
tried to find it,
There's no P.O. box. There's nothing. I think they just want him to rest.
which makes sense. You know what? You've done the world. You've presented one of the biggest mysteries to the world.
Yeah.
So, congrats, Ray. That's your legacy.
Yeah.
But also shout out to that guy. As long as he's not a problem, I don't know.
Yeah. There's no telling if he was a problem or not.
Yeah, we started doing a deep dive on the lore of Ray Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
and it led us into an even bigger hole.
My God. You guys don't
We
even
went
know.
on this. You don't even know. We spent a couple hours doing like deep dives into old like archived newspapers. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you go to Google News, they have archived newspapers as late as like the 1800s.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Sorry, as early as the 1800s. So it's crazy. It's crazy looking back on these newspapers. If they're still legible, some of them aren't because they're so
Mm-hmm.
faded. But some of them are, and like looking back on like the early 1900s ones was fascinating because a lot of them are really. You think back to the time when you think of all those old times. What do you think? You think, oh yeah, these times are racist as hell, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
very problematic, very racist, and a lot of that is in the newspapers as
Yeah.
well, which was fascinating. It was fascinating to like look through 1900, like early 19. I'm talking. We were looking at
Mm-hmm.
newspapers from 1906.
Yeah.
I think it was called, what was it, the Las Vegas Times or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot
And
of they would post is not the right word. They would put out like a
publish.
publish. Oh my God! Wow, look at me. They would publish like all the people that got axe murdered that week.
Yeah,
It would be
there
like
were some
girls'
wild
throats
ones.
slashed and kidnapped and thrown into a lake, and it's just like Jesus Christ
A lot of these articles were very similar to modern articles in that sense.
that
You know what I
week.
mean, like,
Yeah.
hey, man got there was I'm not going to go into details or names, but there was this one from like 1906 where like this person had murdered someone.
Mm-hmm.
He murdered this girl, and when they interviewed him briefly in 1906, mind you, and he said, I think his quote was, "I just hate seeing people having fun."
Yeah.
not to laugh at an over 100-year-old crime 120 years ago. I guess I can laugh. It's fine now. But that's kind of what a like a modern sentence. You know what I mean? I feel like that sounds like
Yeah.
something on like somebody on TikTok would say, not in justification for killing someone,
Mm-hmm.
but in the sense of like Valentine's Day. I hate seeing people happy. Like it sounds
Yeah.
like that kind of post.
It is
But it was in
interesting.
1906.
It's interesting to look back like all the way back to like the 1800s and to see the similarities in society that we still have, like the way that people talked and the way that people felt. Like there are a lot of similarities. Obviously there's a lot of technological differences and like it's not as progressive as it is
Yeah.
now. But like you look at like the comics and stuff, like the funnies, I guess they would call them at some point.
And they're just as unfunny as today.
They're just as unfunny. But some of the parts of the newspapers were actually like entertaining.
They were, yeah.
You
I was
know,
having a great time looking through these things.
I mean, we literally spent like 2.5, 3 hours looking at these newspapers, and we just like were so fascinated by just how like how not different, but like just looking at how things were that far back, like over 100 years ago. It's
Yeah, and
so
all this
weird.
information is just available, by the way. And it was interesting seeing not only the differences but the similarities.
Hmm.
Um, we also found something very, very interesting. My favorite part of everything we found was we found the earliest example of clickbait. The
Yeah.
earliest example of
Oh
clickbait. I'm
yeah.
talking 1906. We got clickbaited hard. So the way these articles are laid out, it's kind of overwhelming to look at because they're all just these poorly edited, small articles that are not organized at all. So you'll see like news of the latest axe murder mixed in with a recipe,
Hmm.
mixed in with a, you know, something about an open house somewhere. I don't know, like
Yeah.
something about the oil is bad. I don't know. Who cares,
Yeah.
right? Whatever the news was at the time, and they're all just kind of these small, I guess you could say, easy to digest articles, right?
Hmm.
And mixed in. Now you think our current media is swarming with ads. Hey, people have been getting ads on our stream
Hmm.
today, right? So people aren't strangers to that, but um, the way they advertised, the first brand that we recognized was in the form of a clickbait article that was disguising itself as a regular article. So each article would have a small title to get you to catch your eye, and
Hmm.
then the blurb about it. So this article says the race question.
Ooh.
The race question. That's already spicy as is.
Hmm.
Now I have the article pulled up here. So the race question is a spicy topic even today. So I'm thinking, oh, we're in for a treat. We're in for a treat. Let's read about the race question in 1906, specifically January 20th, 1906, my birthday. Not when I was born.
Crazy.
Well, I was born a couple years later. But uh, this article says the race question. The race question is a problem that has puzzled the profoundest minds for many years. The best thing for the human race to do is to eat Pillsbury's Vito's for breakfast. And that's the
Crazy.
article. The whiplash I experienced from that article. This cereal does not exist anymore, by the way.
Hmm.
But that blew me away. And right above that was something about the railway, and then children learning about the Bible. I don't know.
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about? And there's like a recipe thrown in there.
Yeah. It is like so crazy that Pillsbury has been around for that long, but also it's like kind of progressive of Pillsbury at that time
A little
to
bit.
be like, we know you're racist. Now eat our cereal.
Eat our
Like,
cereal.
you racist? Like, that was such a slay.
That was a good article.
He knew that the Pillsbury Doughboy, knew that people
Yeah.
were really racist in 1906. And so he clickbaited them.
They're like just like, hey, it don't matter the race.
Race
Eat your
Krispies.
Vito's. Eat your Pillsbury Vito's. And when you look up Pillsbury Vito's, it doesn't sound too appetizing. It
Mm-mm.
says, what is it called? It's a Pillsbury Vito's. Um, it could so Vito's had many uses, which is already the first red flag. I don't want more than one use for my
Mm-hmm.
cereal. I just don't. I just want to eat it. Um, let's see. Unlike other cereals, it does not have to be critically examined before using, and none need to ever be thrown away.
Examined.
I don't want that.
You have to wait, they had to examine cereal back then to make sure
Yeah,
there were no bugs in it.
I guess so. It says Pillsbury Vito's wheat food sterilized.
Pillsbury Vito's. We ain't got no bugs.
There's no bugs in this one.
No
You will not
bugs.
find bugs. So I guess theoretically you could find an old antique Pillsbury Vito's box and still eat it and it should be fine.
What?
It does not need to be thrown away ever. It says ever. It
Yeah.
says Pillsbury Vito's the ideal wheat food. Can be prepared in the form of fried mush but fried mush of unusual delicacy and ease of digestion. I think we've come a long way in cereal advertising. I think Tony the Tiger is a much better route than
Yeah.
this.
I love the
Yeah.
captain,
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for the cap.
Mr. Crunch.
Yeah.
So Vitos are like Wheaties, kind of like wheat squares.
It
What?
sounds like it's like a porridge kind of thing. Sorry, I
Oh,
just saw a comment in Twitch chat of Rice Krispies.
I just yeah, I said that.
I know,
Rice
but
Krispies.
it just processed. Uh,
Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies is incredible. Each for anybody in the human race, just eat your Rice Krispies.
Eat your Rice Krispies.
Oh my
So
god,
it's like
that's great.
I'm trying to think of a similarity. It's like not oat. Is it like it's not like oatmeal. It's kind of like milled wheat maybe? Not milled wheat.
Uh,
Just like little
I don't.
granules of wheat or something.
Yeah, it
That
sounds slimy to
expand.
me. When they say fried mush, I'm like, it sounds. You know, it sounds kind of like grits. I'm
Grits.
imagining grits.
Yeah, I think it sounds
Yeah,
like it's probably like grits, which I love
like the
grits.
same. Like I love grits. Hey, I'll eat a if a Vito is like, can somebody buy me a box of Pillsbury Vitos?
We
I'll eat it
tried
on
to look it
stream and then
up. They're
die. But
they're not I can't even imagine what's inside that box if somebody still I don't know how somebody would still have a box of those a
I can
hundred
guarantee
years.
bugs aren't in there.
Oh, no way, because they told us that there wouldn't be.
Yeah,
They
exactly. We're good.
promised.
Yeah.
They promised.
The culinary situation back then wasn't great.
Yeah, they didn't really I don't think they really valued if something tasted great. I think they were just like, is this going to kill me or not?
Yeah, will this cause the second bubonic plague?
Yeah. Which also there were a lot of they pushed pills like super heavy, especially
A
towards
lot of
women.
them.
A lot of pills pushed towards women, like for iron deficiency and what else? I think it was mainly iron deficiency, but a
Yeah, we
lot
found
of
this. It
pills.
was Doctor Williams Pink Pills is something
Yeah.
another advertisement we found in this 1906.
Which, hey,
Um,
the pink tax still a thing in the
Still a thing.
1900s.
You put
Pink.
pink in it, and I'm like, that's cute.
Yeah.
I
I
want
want a
to
little
eat
pink
that
pill.
pill. So these pills were coated in candy, by the way.
Yeah.
So these pills already sound amazing. They're in a cute little bottle. It says pink pills.
Mhm.
This doesn't sound like a modern product
Yeah. It sounds like something that would
because they
come
have.
out.
Yeah, this would be like a TikTok thing. It says on TikTok,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got my
Hey
pink pills. It's
guys,
a multivitamin. I'm just reviewing. I just got sent the pink pills.
this is your sign to get your pink pills.
These pills are basically just a superfood.
Yeah.
They're a
Not
superfood. I'm
sponsored.
not hungry anymore.
I'm not
I'm starving
hungry.
all the time. I'm thirsty. I'm sad, and I'm so happy.
And I'm skinny.
I'm scared. I'm scared,
I'm scared and
and I've never been
skinny.
more brave in my life. Get you a pink pill.
Well, I mean, just think about like women needed to be medicated back then. They were going through it.
Oh, they were going through it. We were talking
Oof.
about how like the like menstrual product situation
Hmm.
has not improved ever.
Nope. Not even a
No, it has
bit.
not.
Not even a
In
bit.
fact, they're like, how do we monetize this struggle? And that's like,
That's what they did.
I know this is not like a new topic to talk about, but like, damn, you know?
We literally have come no way since
No way.
since ever.
Reading like about menstrual products as well, it felt like a modern newspaper. That's what I mean. That was one of the
Yeah.
examples of we have not progressed as a society.
We went from like sitting on buckets to just stuffing paper products and
Yeah,
kind
and
of
hoping
still
for the
this
best.
kind of still the same thing except now we have to work full time still
Yeah,
with no
yeah.
assistance.
No, that's
Cool.
But Greg over there has his tummy hurt and he gotta stay home.
I need my Pedialyte.
Anyway, I'm so thirsty.
I'm so thirsty because I'm
Oh.
hungover. Which, speaking of like corporate, how about that Chase fraud? that's happening.
How about that? What was going on with that? People are getting free money. No, we don't have Chase Bank here, but I
Yeah.
heard about
I'm with
free
Chase
money.
Bank. I'm with Chase Bank, which I love Chase Bank. But
So you're a double millionaire now.
yeah, so I am a billionaire because you
Ooh.
know what? I probably shouldn't even say that
No,
right
no, no.
now.
There's actually no fraud going
I'm
on because there's a
actually,
bunch of investigations going
yeah,
on.
I'm actually not going to say that, say a joke about that. But
We're millionaires in Minecraft.
wait, I'm millionaires. Never mind. Um, yeah, there's been some fraud happening with Chase. Basically, about a week ago, people were not cashing, they were depositing fraudulent checks because there was a quote unquote glitch in the system that
Yeah,
processed the checks, but the money wasn't actually there, and so people were taking checks for $30,000. Some people more than that, and they were depositing these checks, and they got the money temporarily, and then by Monday morning, Chase overdrafted all of their accounts, and now they are
of
in the
course.
prosecution phase of that. It's just crazy that people actually did that and didn't think that anything bad would happen to them.
Yeah, and well, it's because they were doing like these. I'm sure it would have been a problem no matter what amount you took out. They
Mm-hmm.
were doing these absurd amounts. They were doing like, oh, here's a couple $1 million kind
Yeah.
of thing, maybe more. I was like, of course that's gonna get caught. The thing that's always monitored most, right? Like, say for example, you're you're a criminal on the run, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did a big old felony, maybe a couple. The police are watching your bank account for transactions. That's like
Mm-hmm.
the most monitored thing. Like, how dumb
Yeah.
you gotta be.
Your name, social, address is all attached to your bank account. Also, when you go to the ATM, there's a camera.
There's a camera.
They got your
It's the
picture.
most monitored thing. You That's why people are like, oh yeah, when you're doing sketchy stuff, little tip for you criminals out there, do cash.
Yeah,
It's all cash.
just cash,
It's not,
baby.
yeah, do cash, but you can't be doing a big old $1 million bank
Billion
transaction. That's
dollars.
actually
And I think this is just a flag, but some guy had like $99 billion overdrafted. I think that's just Chase being like, we got you. But yes, and
yeah.
people had money in their bank accounts, and they were actually calling Chase fraud department to report that their money was taken out of their account. They're like, you know, I had
I had
five
a couple
thousand
bill.
dollars. It's like I had $5,000 in my account and now it's gone. And they're like, yeah, because you made a fraud check and we need that money back, and so we took the money that you had to go towards that. Also, you're going to
Yeah,
jail, by the way.
of course,
Just to,
of
like,
course.
I've been on TikTok seeing these work from home like fraud what are they called, fraud analysts, and
Yeah,
they're taking these calls just like, you're like, I can't do anything for you because you committed fraud, like you're going to jail.
you got greedy and you didn't play it smart. Like, if you're gonna do something sketchy, have some subtlety. Have like an alternate account or something. Like, you got to do it smarter. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hope they don't notice that $100 billion is gone.
It's insane how people are so just stupid. I mean, it's just like, you know, I know people come from different backgrounds and different upbringings. They don't get as much education as other people, but like, you have to know that when you mess with the biggest bank in America, who have ties with the government,
Yeah,
that you have to know that you're going to be screwed if you try them. You know what I mean? But some people, I guess, they just think that they're invincible, and they're going to be going away for like 30 years.
yeah.
That's crazy.
It kind of reminds me of when I worked at EB Games and people would steal consoles, right?
Yeah.
When we receive them, we keep track of all the serial numbers,
Hmm.
like we write it down. Um, so people would steal these and try to trade it back in. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
They would try to trade it in or like sell it to us,
Hmm.
and we're like, okay, well, first of all, this is new. You didn't even try to make it look like it was used prior. Or they'll try to return it. It's like, no, this was stolen. This wasn't sold. Like,
Right.
that's crazy. That's very bold of you, but very stupid. And that's like the similar situation here, where
Hmm.
like JT in the Twitch chat is saying, steal from the bank and leave it at the same bank. What a creative choice.
Well, some people were like, they bought like G wagons with that money, and then they realized
Yeah.
that they were screwed once they figured out, that they had committed fraud, and they're trying to like sell the G wagon back, and it's like, it's too late. Like, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you give the money back now, because they've already flagged your account and they're coming to pick you up. Like, they will take the G wagon 100% because they need their money
Oh
back.
yeah.
But also, you're gonna do time. I just
Like these
like,
guys control the money, and you're gonna play with them? No, absolutely
well,
not.
like I mentioned,
And you think they're new?
J.P. Morgan is like the top banking dog. Like, literally has like connections with government agencies.
Yeah.
Like, so they're lawyered up more than any other bank, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's like, you should have tried that with, like, I don't know, Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo sucks.
Or like one of those small little independent banks. They don't know what they're doing, right?
Exactly. Like, I honestly, and this is like a tinfoil hat moment.
That's okay. That's been the whole stream anyway.
But like in America, prisons are privatized and they are for profit, right?
Yeah.
My conspiracy theory is that, and like, this is crazy. This is crazy, right? But like, the elite will do the craziest things to get money, right?
Of course. Yeah.
There's a part of me that feels like they did this on purpose.
You think it was a setup? They're like, oh, let's get
They knew
our
people would
prisons
do
are
it.
look a little empty, like a little empty.
I think they know how desperate Americans are, first of all, how
Yeah,
stupid
especially right now.
Americans can be. And I think there's a chance that I don't know. And like I said, this is crazy, but like, if I don't know, if I can be like, I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe they did this on purpose because they knew people would go for it. And now they have more prisoners.
It does seem like a weird slip up on their part, right?
No, this is the
And
biggest
also,
bank in America, at least.
there's first of all that. Second of all, who do you think the first person was that found this little loophole, right?
Right.
Like who's just randomly trying depositing $1 million check?
Yeah.
Could have been them. I don't know.
I heard
That's what I'm
from
saying. Who started this?
who started this. Yeah. I heard from someone on TikTok basically said that, like, when you hear about a scam, the person who's telling people about the scam knows that they're about to get caught, and so they put it out there for other people to do to kind of cloud up their activity so that
Yeah.
it draws more attention to other people that are doing it. And I was like, damn, that is a really good point. I think that's absolutely like 100% true. But at the same time, this is the biggest bank in America, and I can't see how something like this could happen, like this kind of error could
Yeah.
happen where people are able to just have this money put into their account without it being verified. Because like Chase, I've dealt with Chase's fraud department, and they are like on top of it. And if
Yeah.
something goes wrong, they are very quick to fix it. So I can't imagine how. I think there's like 2 million people that did this. I can't imagine how 2 million people kind of crept by and were able to do this without them stopping the first person.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
I've heard you on the phone with their fraud department, and it was
they're
such a
very
quick
sharp.
and easy thing.
Yeah,
They're like, yeah, we see that you're getting scanned by Amazon. Here's that
yeah,
money back. Great, cool.
yeah.
Look how
It's
easy that was.
yeah. They're very good at their jobs, and like, I just feel, I don't know. I feel like it might have been a setup.
Something's up. Something's
Something's
up, chat,
up.
and it's up to us. It's up to us as the MaeMaeTown community,
Yes.
the townies.
Lock in.
So we have to lock the frig in and solve this conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
We have two
Yeah.
conspiracies to solve now. Okay, that they're building up, so you gotta pick it up. You gotta pick up
God.
the pace because we still gotta do the Hokey Pokey thing,
Oh
and now we
Jesus.
got Chase Bank on our tail. Oh
Mm.
God, we got a lot to do, and we gotta learn French.
Yeah.
What the hell's going
Not me.
on?
I'm one of Chase's darlings.
And you already know French,
And I know French.
so I guess you're off the hook. I'm
I
cooked.
I only have like $1,000 in credit card debt.
That's not that bad.
It's
That's
really
fine.
not bad, honestly.
That's
That's from
fine.
COVID too. Like
Yeah,
I I needed to eat
you're
during
kind of
COVID.
you're kind of you're doing well.
I'm doing
And
okay.
keep it up.
Yeah, I like because being on TikTok too is very eye-opening to people's problems, and like it makes me very grateful for my problems at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's like I hear about people who have like $50,000 in debt, $200,000 in debt, and I'm like, damn, that $1,000 is not looking too bad right now.
Yeah, I mean, now that if we're being candid about our situation, I've said it on stream before, but
Mm-hmm.
like I'm about I'm about 10,000 in debt, which
Mm-hmm.
isn't great. It's not good. That's like take it seriously type of debt,
Mm-hmm.
which I am. I'm doing what I can to get that under control.
Yeah.
As long as you're taking the steps, my financial obligations are met, my bills are paid. It's just the debt that I can't get rid of,
Right.
which makes me feel bad. It makes me feel guilty, makes me feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be in life because of this financial anchor holding me back.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, in addition to taking it seriously, same thing. I'm on TikTok. I'm seeing like I get a lot of Caleb Hammer pushed to me,
Ugh. Which
which
like
like
I get what he's doing, but sometimes I can't
I do.
stand him.
Well, because he's contentizing it, right? He's a bit of his delivery is dry and he's a little bit bad, but like the
Yeah.
people that he's talking to, when he adds up the numbers,
Oh my
I don't like
God.
necessarily agree with him as a person, but whatever. That's not the point of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that he's dealing with
Yeah.
and their debt that they have to deal with, and it's like
Yeah.
it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm talking like like you're saying $200,000, and I'm like, I'm good then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take care of what I got to take care of, then
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I
Mine seems a lot more manageable. Just the perspective of it,
mm-hmm.
I think, is it helps.
I think that well it's like it's not that I can't really stand him because I understand his frustration with these people. Like some of them genuinely have no regard for their own life. Like
Yeah,
they're just like, "Oh yeah, I'm $200,000 in debt and I'm unemployed." They're not even doing like any of the delivery apps, which
yeah,
they very well could be. They have a kid that they've left with their parents in another state, and it's just like, what are you doing, dude? And why are you here? Like, why, if you don't care, why are you sitting in front of me right now? Like, because I'm supposed to help you, but you obviously don't care about fixing your problems. Yeah, that's
yeah,
hard to watch for me because it's like, just get it together. I don't know, like
yeah,
you're a
yeah,
perfectly able like person to do food delivery to make some kind of money to like pay your bills or like pay some of your debt off or take care of your kid or something like that, but they're just like, no, I'm gonna manifest the money, and it's like,
yeah,
okay, but you're sitting here, so it's not going too well, is it?
yeah. You came here so we can set up a budget, and that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Um,
when he goes through their
like I
like
said, I'm not
statements.
gonna. Yeah, I kind of wouldn't mind like hitting up a financial advisor because like
Yeah,
what can I change? I'm doing what I can, and it's clearly not working. I don't even spend like frivolously. Like
it's
I don't.
just
I'm what am I?
life is expensive. It's
That's what it is.
impossible.
Yeah, I need let's get the money up, chat.
Yeah. Well, it's also like you don't, not to like dox you, but
Not for
you
me. Sorry. Sorry. That sounded like I was asking. I'm not asking for money. I don't want your money. I meant like let's all of us as a community get all of our money up. Is what
yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Well, it's
It
like
was meant to as a motivational boost.
yeah. It's like understandable because like you don't have a car, and that's a
Yeah.
whole expense in itself, which I don't blame anyone for not having a car because it is so expensive. Like it's
Yeah.
one thing to get the car, whether you buy a used one for a few $1,000s or whatever. You gotta pay for the registration, which is like for in my state, it's like $700 to register a car minimum.
Ugh. Awful.
Then you got to pay for car insurance. That's like, that can be like $200, $300 a month.
It's
So
not
it's
cheap.
like it's really expensive to have a car to make more money by doing, Uber Eats or driving to a second job or whatever. It's just it's expensive, like,
Yeah.
period. So,
Yeah, that's why I need some remote work. I need to work from home. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like something like that. I
Mhm.
don't know.
I'm
We'll figure it out.
I've been looking into today taking on like a secondary just like cuz like I do Uber Eats full time. Like that's my main source of income. It's good. I really like it. I like being in control of my schedule and my money.
Yeah.
And I'm looking into adding something or well, adding something or doing something different. There's a lot of options for delivery jobs. Like there's medical delivery, like medical supplies, which
Yeah, you
can
were telling me about this a little bit earlier.
yeah,
Yeah.
which can pay really really well. So I might get into that because I really do enjoy like just kind of doing what I want. And I don't think I'm going to be able to work for another person ever again because it's just like,
There's
I don't
there's
know.
kind of a big catch to this medical delivery job that you told me that I was like, "Oh, hell
There
no, I'm not doing
is,
that."
and I think every company is different
Okay.
potentially, but like, because it is medical supplies, that can also entail like organs, which there's a whole HIPAA agreement thing there, but like, you might be transporting like blood, and I don't want to get into that
I
because
just
I know people get weird
I
about it. So,
don't like medical stuff really, but I just like the visual I have in my head of you got your cute little pink delivery bag and inside is a friggin' heart, like a human heart.
yeah,
You
yeah.
write up delivery for
For
Marjorie.
Marjorie,
Marjorie, human heart.
human heart for you.
And Marjorie's like,
Um,
all right,
oh,
let's
let's
go.
go. No,
You're late. I'm not paying for that.
I'm not paying for that. And obviously, like those types of jobs pay way more than just like delivering prescriptions to,
Yeah.
you deliver prescriptions to like nursing homes. It's kind of that stuff. But I've read that there is, you might have to, and you obviously you're an independent contractor, so you don't have to take any deliveries that you don't want to.
Yeah.
But you might have to. And there are certifications. There's a HIPAA certification. There's all kinds of stuff that you get certified in. I might also need to like bump up my insurance because like if something happens and you lose a thing and someone dies, then
Oh.
that's on you. And so I'm like, I gotta really figure out which one I'm doing because
Yeah.
I don't want to do that quite yet.
No, that seems like a whole level of like life or death responsibility that I don't really want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do anything medical related. Big
Yeah.
respect if you do it, and especially for the money,
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. Because at the end of the day, all this means is everything's just expensive, and it gets more expensive.
Yeah.
And I wish it wasn't, but I just want to live comfortably. Chat.
I
I don't
know.
even have the highest like needs or luxury. I'm very simple.
Yeah.
I'm very very simple. I could live in a tiny home or like even like a one bedroom apartment, be comfortable.
Yeah.
I'd be so comfortable.
Studio.
Um, Studio even.
Yeah.
I'm
Studios are
very
like
simple.
studios are as expensive as one bedrooms now, which I'm like that doesn't make any sense. But that's how it
I
is.
lived I lived in the basement of my house one time
Mm-hmm.
because I was renting this townhouse and the entire thing was being fumigated because when we moved in it was like honestly the worst day of my life. It was we moved into this townhouse and there were roaches everywhere.
Ugh.
Now when we went to go see this place that was not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't react well to roaches. I don't like them. So I demanded that they fix this, and so I now had to move out of my old apartment and into this roach home, which I couldn't stay in.
Roach
So
house.
roach house. They were advertising roach free since
Oh
'93.
yeah.
That was not the case. Um,
The rhyme. Roach free
yeah.
since '93.
But I had to stay with my parents while
Mm-hmm.
they fixed up this house. And when I moved back, They had not indeed cleared out all the roaches. Everything was still a mess. There was
Ugh,
a little flood happened. There was water damage everywhere. This was
jeez.
a nightmare situation. Home. There was mold under the sink, and like
Ugh.
when we had the tour of the townhouse, it wasn't. It was a house full of like 10 people, and they were all home. So we did a quick walkthrough. They had all their stuff there, so we couldn't really get a feel for it, and we were kind of rushed through.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just hoping that there wasn't anything wrong because we kind of had to move out of our other place. They wanted to renovate it, have another family move in, or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
frick, have their family move in, which is why they were legally allowed to kick us out. But anyway, um, I moved back, and it was just me at this time. It wasn't the other two people I was living. It was just me. I had the time to move back there and check out the fumigation work that they had done, and there were roaches everywhere still, except for in the basement. Weirdly enough, you'd think the basement would kind of be where like the
Yeah.
vermin are, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. So we had moved a couch down there. We had those wash bins down there, and for like almost a week, I lived exclusively in that basement because I could not access the rest of that house. That
Mm-hmm.
house. And let me say, although it wasn't ideal living conditions, it was doable.
Mm-hmm.
It was doable. All this to say is I can't even afford like that kind of living right now because
Yeah.
that's even too expensive.
Not even the Texas
Basement
Roadhouse.
wash bin. Yeah, I can't even afford the Texas Roach House. All right.
Oh, that's the
So,
worst.
yeah, I don't have a high standard, but I can't even like currently financially, I can't even achieve that standard again.
I know.
I had that standard. I had a 2 bedroom apartment basically to myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have. I'm back at home, and I can't leave.
Yeah.
I can't leave. I've checked. I can get a 1 bedroom. Sorry, not apartment. I can get a 1 bedroom, a
Somewhere.
single bedroom, somewhere shared with like 4 other
Mm-hmm.
strangers in a random apartment near a mall, and that'll be like $1,500. So
Yeah.
that's the situation right now. Unfortunately, I don't want to get too into. Everybody knows this. Everybody's feeling it.
Everybody. Yeah.
Um, do I like initially? Yeah. Do I feel a little bit ashamed about living back at home after having 10 years of my own independence, living on my own? A little bit, but also no,
Mm-hmm.
because it's at least I'm with people who love me,
Yeah.
right?
Great people.
Um, Great people that love me. Yeah, I only have 1 bedroom, but it's in a house with people who love me, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to like being in 1 bedroom with some randos. So I guess it's
Preach.
not so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
preach to that. I mean, honestly,
who would
like,
probably complain about me streaming? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to do
exactly.
that.
I mean, there are people who work, full-time corporate jobs who had to move back home with their families because they can't
Yeah.
afford their rent, which is like you go into the corporate world to secure like a solid salary, and these people can't even have that. And it's like they're working, oh my God, they're working so many hours and just like they don't have anything to show for it. That's,
Yeah, and these are like those big financial business corporate jobs. They go to the
yeah.
office, they work 9 to 5, that kind of thing.
And honestly,
And even then,
that's why I've kind of stuck to this like delivery field because it's like I'm in full control of how much money I come home with, and that money's going into my account at the end of the day. I press
yeah,
one button and that money's in my account. Now, with my limited experience, I couldn't get a job where I make more than I do doing delivery. And like, yes, I'm, putting miles on my car. I've got, gas and stuff. I've got gas. I pay for gas.
same.
Frick. I I put gas
Somebody
in my
clip that,
car.
dog.
No, I pay, well, I have to pay car insurance anyway, so that's not even a conversation. But like yes, I have to drive around all day. I'm at a point where I'm numb to it. I don't even think about driving. Like I literally will
Yeah,
drive 8 hours a day. I could drive to Florida and back, and it would be the same experience. It's better because I'm getting in and out of the car. But
yeah,
it's like I literally my last job where I like clocked in, I was doing a few different things. I was even doing content creation, which I love. But
yeah.
even with the extra content creation, I was working the desk and stuff like that. Was losing money by being there when I wasn't able to do Uber Eats. And so I
Yeah.
quit that job so that I could do Uber Eats full time. And my quality of life just skyrocketed because I was making the most money that I'd ever made in my life. And I could decide when to stop, when to start. I could
Hmm.
work 12 hours a day if I wanted to and make, $300 a day or something like that. Now I don't because I'm lazy, but I've
No,
seen
you're
how
working
much,
like 10-hour days.
like, even less than that now. When I first started doing Uber Eats, I was doing 12-hour days. I was addicted to it. And one Friday, I made almost
At least you liked it.
$400.
That's true. The tips were flying.
The tips were flying, and they do still sometimes, but like, I was living in a better city when I first started doing it. Atlanta's like, it depends on the area, but Nashville is like the best city to do delivery in because people tip super well. They're super nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was raking in like hundreds of dollars a day. I think there was
Oh,
one week I made over $1,000 in a week. Not even
nice,
not even
nice.
7 days. I think it was like 6 days.
And for those
So
Canadians in the chat, that's super dollars. So that's like 1,300 of our dollars. That's
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah. So I at this point, I do have moments where I'm like, oh, maybe it'd be better if I just like got a normal job where I clocked in, I worked 5 days a week, and I got a consistent paycheck. But I don't see that really like being the best option for me. You know,
Yeah.
like just considering how much I make doing delivery and how much more I could be making if I pursue like the medical
It's
supplies
hard going
delivery.
it's hard going back
It's
to
like
listening
you're telling
to
me
someone
that
micromanaging you and all that
yeah,
stuff.
you're telling me that I should like whenever I have those voices in my head that are like, "Oh, what do people think of me?" Like, "Oh, they probably think I'm such a loser because I'm doing delivery." Like when I think about people I went to high school with who have these like nursing jobs and like these corporate jobs, I'm like, "Oh man, if I ever see them in public, they're going to judge me so hard." But at the same time, it's like I can listen to podcasts all day. I can stop and get a nice coffee. I can go home and take a nap if I want, and no one is going to tell me that I can't do that because
Yeah.
it's up to me. And I just, I've worked for people for most of my life, and I don't think I can go back. I don't think I can
No,
go
that's
back.
understandable. It's honestly, I've been experiencing uh, it kind of lately. The micromanaging, the
Yeah.
people coming down on you for stuff because of their own
So
struggles.
petty.
Like when, especially a smaller business, and like I said, no name drops here, no docs. I could be talking about a past job, could be talking about a current job. When you work for a small business, a small like I know this is kind of weird. We kind of got on like a business
It's
tangent here.
it's but it's relevant to everybody.
It is. When you work for a small business, like when they start struggling,
Ooh,
it's all your fault.
it's all your fault, baby.
I'm just a guy at the counter.
Mm,
I don't think me. I might influence a daily sale or two, but I'm not going to save your business.
mm,
I'm sorry.
mm-mm.
This is a bigger. This is above me. Um, I'm not saying I'm not willing to help, but when you're bringing the morale down, which you are because you're stressed and you can't hold it in, and you're lashing out at us,
Mm-hmm.
I clock out mentally. I'm like, this doesn't motivate me. This doesn't. This is not how I boost your business
Yeah.
through you giving me a hard time, making me feel bad, making me dread going into work. That's not that lowers my productivity.
Yep.
I'm not gonna go out of my way. You start like not yelling at me, but you start coming down on me hard
Projecting.
and projecting. First of all, if a boss ever does it to you, do not increase your productivity
Mm-mm.
because that'll tell them that's okay to do.
Yeah.
That'll tell them, oh, if see, look, it worked. I came down on them and they started working. Just hold your ground. Just do your thing normally. I'm not saying to stop working.
Act your
Just work
wage.
as act your well, just like act as you normally would.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get stressed and start doing it more because they will. That'll like you could basically have to train these people
Yeah.
in the course of how to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's basically it. Like you have to teach people like what you're okay with them doing to you. I've made it very clear to every person I work with, you're not to raise your voice at me. You do not raise your voice at me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Like that's not gonna happen. We don't do that. We're people.
We're adults.
We're just all people. We're adults. You can communicate with me regularly. If you're stressed, take a moment, go into the bathroom and cry, but do not yell at me.
Yeah.
I will not. I actually won't listen to what you're saying.
Hmm.
So, and that'll teach them. Okay, hey, guess what? We're adults and we can talk. That's great. Like, just make sure people know what you're okay with, because otherwise people are going to walk all over you. Unfortunately, it's just the nature of people.
Oh yeah.
And
Totally.
don't accept. I want you guys to expect better for yourself. Okay.
Yeah. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's just a freaking job,
And they're
and
just a freaking person.
your name is not on the LLC document.
That's
So
exactly right.
whatever happens to the business will not happen to you. Keep that in
Yeah.
mind. Every Also, if something is family run, family owned, run,
Yeah.
run away, run as far away as you can, because that is the most toxic environment. Always,
Yeah. It's not great.
consistently. Every single family owned, family run business I've worked for, the most toxic like drama I've ever seen. They
Mm,
always get to a point where the business is suffering, and there's always like one family member who's taking the business down, and they can't fire them because they're family. And so
it'll cause too much
instead,
family drama.
they'll take it out on the workers. Like, guys, we really need to push the sales. We really need to talk the business up. Please go out and tell people about it and work twice as hard. And it's like, no, actually, that's on you.
Yeah.
And the reason we're struggling is because you refuse to remove this very toxic, negative person just because they're your mom or your
Yeah.
sister or whatever. Every single time, and every single time I've worked for a family-owned business, it always ends the same. I leave.
Yeah.
I cut out of there, and always I'm like, not to, it's gonna sound conceited, I'm usually one of their best employees.
I could
I
see
just
it.
know it.
I could
I
see it.
know it based on my experience and watching other coworkers and how they work. And
Well, like I said, you have a standard of quality,
I do.
like that I haven't seen in many other people. So I could see that, and if people are going to fumble that, and I feel like that kind of goes for me at my workplaces as well.
Hmm.
My customer interactions are fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, like I'm good with people. I think I'm good with people.
Hmm.
And if they want to fumble that by like go in with the perspective of they're gonna fumble you if they mess up.
Well, the thing is, like, they know that you're the best. They know that
Mm,
you're a valuable asset. And then whenever they start to like project onto you, it's a manipulation tactic to keep you down.
yeah.
Because they don't want you to know how valuable you are. Because once you know how valuable you are, you hold the cards, and you can be like, I'm going to leave if you don't change this and that. They don't want you to know that.
Yeah, which like I for at least my current workplace, I like the people there a lot,
Hmm.
and I do like my job. Um, but like with certain aspects of it, I don't know. You want to feel valued in your workplace. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That goes for any workplace, like
Yeah.
regardless of positive. And I want to see this place thrive. I
Hmm.
do. I want them to do well. On our busy days, I'm like, great, we're busy. I'm happy. That's cool. That's awesome. So I hope they do well, but I hope that level of micromanagement stops,
Hmm.
and I hope they change something up because they're going to lose some people if that's the case. That isn't a threat. I'm just saying, um, a lot of people are hyper aware of their worth now, which is good. People are
My
putting up with less and less, and that's how it
yeah.
should be.
My belief is that some people are meant to run businesses, and some people got money from their parents
Yeah,
and they want to be a big boss, but they don't actually have the qualities of leadership. And I think I think in most cases, whenever a business is struggling like that, it's because they're not actually fit to be a business owner. They just had the money. They happened to have the money and the resources to do so, and so they did.
yeah,
And that's very unfortunate for, people who work there because, everybody needs to work to make money, right? And so
Hmm.
you spend a lot of time with a company and then you realize like, oh, I've invested a lot of time in this company and it's not going well. So now I
No,
have
it's
to make
not.
all,
It's not given.
and it's like it's frustrating because it's like one person that is ruining the whole thing, and if that person is just removed, then it would be great,
Yeah, yeah,
but
that's true.
it
So
doesn't
I have
happen.
great friends at this workplace,
Yeah.
and I have positive interactions with most people there,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the
There's
couple few,
always.
and they're always the loudest. They're always the ones that have the most influence,
Yep.
and it's just a shame. But
Yeah.
oh well, oh well.
What are you
Let's
gonna
get the
do?
money, chat. Let's let's
Let's
let's
get the
expect more from
money.
ourselves and get the money. That's what I'm
Hey,
saying.
you
Yeah.
know, I my dad always raised me to create a life where I don't work for anybody. That's always just been kind of in the back of my brain. Like, I've pursued fields and like I've worked for people obviously, but ultimately
Hmm.
like end goal is like try not to work for another person. And I am doing that. Independent contracting is like one of the greatest things that's ever been created because it's like
Yeah.
you truly are in control of your schedule and how much money you make without the ties of being an employee.
Hmm.
You have to do your own taxes, which once you do it the first time, it's kind of like a system that's in place moving forward. So
It
it's
sucks to
like,
learn, but like when you know it, you know it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But write-offs are great. I write my whole car off every year and it saves me.
Hey,
I pretty much don't have to pay taxes at the end of it when it's all said and done
that's a nice little bonus.
because I write off my car, my mileage, my gas, all my meals that I eat when I'm working,
Yeah.
my car washes, even
Well, you got to be presentable
car
when you're doing delivery.
insurance
Yeah.
especially. So it's cool. I get to keep pretty much everything that I earn, which is great.
And that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you got to get yourself to a position where you're comfortable, and that's all I desire in
Mm-hmm.
this world. I just want to be cozy. I don't need the big luxury.
Yeah.
Would luxuries be nice here and there? Sure. I'm not against the luxuries, but I don't require a lot, and I just
Me
want to get
neither.
to that point. That's all I want.
Yeah, because I
So,
as much money as I can make, I'm in the same position as you where I'm just like, man, I feel like I can never hold on to a dollar here.
no,
Like,
because it goes with all of our stuff. It goes, and I just want to get to a point because I love streaming. I do, and
yeah.
I haven't been doing it much lately because of like this weird financial guilt. Am I not progressing? I could be learning a skill in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, admittedly, all those have been factors of why I haven't been streaming enough. But I love streaming. I
Yeah.
love the people we've met through streaming. I met you through streaming, which is the most important part.
Mm.
No offense, chat, but but like, and then none of that would have been possible if we didn't have the time to stream at the time
Right.
when we did. So I feel like a loyalty to streaming, and it's also like my
Mm-hmm.
primary hobby, and I do enjoy it. And I've been doing it a couple more times recently, so it's
Mm-hmm.
like I'm trying to get back into it regularly, but there is that because I have so many like life burdens,
Yeah.
it doesn't I don't have as much freedom to do it anymore, which is like I
Yeah.
want to get to a point where I'm comfortable enough where I can partake in life again. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
I do consider streaming life. Like, I love doing it. It's
Yeah.
a major part of what makes me happy. Um, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Same. I just like, yeah, I don't really like go out and do extravagant things. I literally just work and I like to eat food. I like to not go out to eat, but just like eat out and that's it. Stream, play video
Yeah, and
games.
stream.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't expect like big financial. Like, I didn't go into streaming. I feel like a lot of people who quit streaming expected like a big financial gain from it. Would that be nice? Yeah, I would love to. I
Mm-hmm.
would love to make money from streaming, but do I expect it? No. I went into
Yeah.
this with the perspective of like this is going to be a hobby for me,
Mm-hmm.
which is it kind of helped me continue doing it.
Yeah.
But I still need to have an income that can support this hobby. Like,
Yeah.
I'm totally down for streaming for like 15 people and just chatting and playing a game or whatever the frig. Like, I'm down to do that with no financial gain. That's totally cool for me.
Mm-hmm.
Would that other stuff be nice? Yes. But as long as I have enough money to like not have the guilt and the debt to support that lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm currently not there, which is unfortunately the content's taking a hit as a result.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but hey, at least we got the MaeMaeTown podcast,
Woo!
baby.
That's all I got going for me. Woo!
I love doing the podcast though. It's
No, I
fun.
like
Look, we're
generally.
already like 2 hours in.
No, like the podcast is my favorite thing I've ever come up with, and I literally every episode it's so hard to stop because I just love doing it so much. I also feel like it gets the most engagement out of anything I've done, so I really like that
Yeah.
too. That's very validating. Um, but as far as gaming goes, like it's been really hard to find the time to like sit down and game and stream at the same time, because it's like I know it doesn't have to be, but it's kind of like I need to be on. And sometimes, like, if I do have the time to game, which is very rare these days, I just want to,
Yeah.
like, not speak and just turn my brain off. And I feel really guilty about that. But at the same time, it's like, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I hate that.
Yeah.
But I love at least doing the podcast. Like, I really enjoy that style of content, and incorporating, like, you know, people like Marcus Hedges, and planning out like all these guests that I'm gonna have on, and kind of moving into that world of content. Like, I've always wanted to do that, and I think I'm just committing time to doing that now, you know.
Well, you know me.
So
I value my just chatting segments. Like my just chatting on my stream usually lasts like 45 minutes to an hour.
yeah.
That's how I like it. That's my favorite part of the stream is just
Mhm.
talking to people and running my mouth and saying some nonsense on a train of thought that I didn't know I was on. So like things like that, that's fun. So like doing the podcast where it's just that, and I get to hang out with you and chat for a while, which
Yeah.
is something I'd be doing off stream even if we weren't live anyway.
Yep.
That's good news for me.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
a
like
great outlet.
like I've said, like we do, even after we end the podcast, like we'll do like another 2 hours of talking about the newspapers, or we'll talk about the Hokey Pokey stuff. Like we literally do that off stream, and we just don't
That
record
whole
it.
tangent was a spin-off of something that already happened off
Yeah.
off camera. So
Yeah. Noodle says
yeah,
the podcasts are getting longer and longer. Yeah, I would say it's safe to say that they will be like 2 hours at this point, just because that's our natural sort of rhythm of conversation until we're like, okay, maybe it's time to end, you know? Because
yeah.
I feel it like slowing down now, and we're at the almost like 10 minutes left point, right? Well, no,
Let's
we
kick
got
it up then. Let's get what's next on the
what's
agenda.
next on the agenda. I'm the same way. That's a part of why I haven't started streaming. Yeah, so uh, you guys get it. I feel like you guys are very understanding, and I really appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you to everyone
course.
who supported both of us in whatever we try. Because I'm
Yeah,
really
you know what?
just figuring it out all the time.
It's true. And you know, JT in the Twitch chat, Spotify listeners come over to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But JT says, "I'm thankful for all the free entertainment," and that's what it is. And I'm happy to
Yeah.
provide that. You know what? I want to create an environment where there's no financial pressure. Now, what I think about monetizing the stream, maybe when I like my channel's bigger, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I would feel comfortable doing that. But when it's just a small community, I just want people to just hang out.
Yeah.
That's all I want. When we start getting like, you know, in the hundreds of viewers, if we get to that point, when we get to that point, sorry,
Yeah.
edit that out.
When we get
to that
Steven
point,
Yen on the podcast.
then we'll be like, oh, we're releasing the Neodoodlez and MaeMaeTown plushies. Buy them.
Yes.
They're magnetic and they hold hands if you put them close together.
I do want to make merch for no reason. Like,
okay, but that's actually really freaking cute.
No,
I
like
want
I
that now.
really want merch, even though nobody will buy it. I want it so that at least we can wear it, and if anybody wants to buy it, sure. But like,
Let's get some shirts printed.
Well, I've always wanted to make a MaeMaeTown beanie. Like that's like the one merch thing that I've always wanted to do, like a purple beanie.
I would love that because I wear beanies toques all the time.
Yeah, we both wear toques, and that's something I really want, but I also want it to be quality. Like I don't want just some like gross, like scratchy little knitted beanie. Like I want it to be one of those like the Game Grumps beanies. I want it to be like a really high quality work.
Yeah, exactly.
and that requires money.
We have a couple people who would buy that as
I
well.
know.
But like I said, I would feel more comfortable having a larger audience and then thinking about that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I just want to make stuff for myself. And
Yeah.
I have some Neodoodle stuff. I'll make like a phone case for myself,
Yeah.
or like Spielermon made me a Neodoodles apron
Mm-hmm.
and a Neodoodles pillowcase. So I have two pieces of outside Neodoodles
I
merch.
want MaeMaeTown
Uh,
pillowcases. I want a
right?
bedding set.
That'd
That
be
would be
cute as
so
hell.
stupid. My bed has me on it. Uh,
Just a whole your face.
yeah.
How iconic would that be, though?
That would honestly, I would.
Yeah.
Because like nobody's in here but me, right? And maybe you at some point, but like like nobody would see it. The chat would see it.
Yeah.
So, and I think that would be iconic. I don't know how you
That'd be
would
great.
go about producing that, but I would I would buy a few. Thank you, Silver.
We can look at some printing options
Who
anyway.
okay, lock in. Who would buy the MaeMaeTown bedding set? Anyone?
Let's start small. Who's gonna buy the toque, the hat, the beanie?
Okay, but I really want to know who's gonna buy the bedding.
All right, we gotta build up. We gotta build up to it.
Who's putting me on their bed? That sounded weird.
Who's?
What I'm
I
wait.
have guessed. Who's
What?
putting me on their bed? These are
What?
all very clippable things.
Yeah.
Clippers go crazy.
Which hopefully I'll clip it for short form content, which I'm also horrible at.
Me, I'd put you on the bed.
I know Noodle would. High rise bed set.
Yeah,
Let's go.
that'd be
I
cool. I'd
would.
get the MaeMaeTown bed set. I have
Maybe
these checkers on my bed right now, but I could. I'm over it.
hey, if there is a like a bedding company out there and you're looking for an ambassador or whatever they call it, I will promote the hell out of the bedding set with my branding on it.
All right, let's do the face that you're gonna have on the blanket. What's it gonna look like? We're gonna take the picture right now.
You're gonna see
I'm
it in a
not there.
second. You'll see it in
I'm
a
gonna
second.
see it in a second.
There's a like.
Okay. It just hit.
It just I can't wait.
No, that was good.
Anything Silver says sure. Anything new is nice. So
I
earnest.
love supportive chat.
I love supportive chat. I love people that will buy my bedding.
All right, we'll get it printed, chat. One day, the MaeMaeTown bedding set is gonna happen.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm manifesting that. I'm
and don't
manifesting.
buy those bootlegs off Amazon or
No,
Temu. I don't
don't
want
buy
to
it off
see no Temu in
Temu.
here.
Off the MaeMaeTown website
The MaeMaeTown website,
that I definitely have.
and you can also buy the MaeMaeTown candle, which smells just like the MaeMaeTown studio,
Yep. Which smells like
which fries.
smells like Dunkin' Donut
Dunkin'
cups.
Donut. Let's
Old
go.
coffee cups.
Ooh,
I
old
got
coffee
one. It's not
cups.
Dunkin'. I'm not gonna show it because I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
That's
blank
true.
stare.
That's true.
I can't wait to see what I looked like.
It's incredible. It's the best. We will. I know we're kind of running a little late. I'm not going to wrap up your podcast, but I will touch on one other thing. I don't want to end on a sad
Oh
note.
God, I know what you're gonna
I don't.
say.
I don't want to end on a sad
It
note,
is
though. You know what I
sad.
mean?
It is sad, and
It is sad.
unfortunate, but
We got to mention. We could say it in like
I
an
don't know.
homage type of way, right?
James Earl Jones died. It's very sad.
It is very sad. This happened earlier today, was it, or was it just confirmed today?
I think it was to. Was it today? I don't know if it was today, but it was announced today.
Yeah. As a big Lion King fan, damn,
Man,
that's
sucks.
sad. Yeah, yeah. You know what? Shout out to Star Wars as well.
Mhm.
Very iconic voice, very good voice. Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that voice.
Oh
That
yeah.
deep voice, ooh, does it for me. It's great. So hey, R.I.P. a legend. Love me some Lion King,
Me too.
and I'm pretty neutral in Star Wars, but I respect the role, and Darth Vader is iconic. And it wouldn't have been, he's delivered some of the most iconic
Mhm.
lines in cinematic history,
Cinema,
and this is
yeah.
coming from my very limited knowledge of it.
So that's how you
So
know it's real.
that's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's real. So R.I.P. legend. That's basically
I
all I have
thought
to
you
say.
forgot his name.
No, James Earl Jones. No, I know who I
I
actually do.
thought
I
you
actually do know
forgot
who
his
it is.
name. You're like, you gave this whole beautiful like homage, and then you're like, so R.I.P. to
R.I.P.
Jimmy
Elvis.
Elvis Presley, Preston Presley,
Preston
Preston
Elton.
Pratt, Elton.
R.I.P. No, I can't. I'm not gonna say an actual celebrity name because what if they die? It's gonna seem bad.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I don't want that
Careful.
on my conscience. But anyway, R.I.P. Legend. Great work
Yeah.
on the work that you did. Great.
Yes. Oh wow, that was
I mean it.
awesome. I hope his
I mean
family
every
sees
word.
this.
No, don't show it to the Earl Jones
The Earl
family.
Jones, the Earl Grey family.
Okay,
Jesus
we're
Christ.
being mad disrespectful, but hey, all that good stuff we said before was heartfelt,
Yeah.
and I do mean it. And I love that guy's voice,
Yeah.
and he was probably also cool.
Gone
How about
too
that?
soon.
How old is he?
I don't know how old he was.
Was it? Okay, here's the thing. No, never mind. All right, good talk.
90. Oh, okay. 93 is pretty
We
old.
had a good run. We had a good run.
Had a
Hey,
good
no,
run.
that's 93. 93. That hey, good
Yeah.
life. You had a great life. That's a great. Hopefully, I can do 93.
93 is
At
pretty
that point,
old.
it's like, hey, um, that's all homage. At that point, you're just like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm glad you were alive. At that
Yeah.
point, it's not necessarily tragic. It's just like, hey, great long life. That's fantastic. Good job.
Mm-hmm. Good
Good
job.
legacy. Good job. Like at that point, he probably felt like, hey, I did my time. That's great.
I did my time. Yeah, because this
Yeah.
really is a prison sentence being on this earth.
I mean it that way. He's probably pretty proud of what he accomplished.
uh,
He's just like, cool. I can probably rest soundly at that point.
yeah.
I compare it to like the Stan Lee situation, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like that guy did so much, created some of
Mm-hmm.
the most iconic characters. It wasn't necessarily a tragic thing. It was sad. Sad and tragic are different.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm sad that they're not on the earth
Mm-hmm.
anymore, right? But also like, hey, look at all the stuff they've given us, and hey, they did it.
And
They
they
did
lived a
that.
full life.
Full friggin' life.
Yeah.
It's not a Terry Fox situation. Shout out to Terry Fox.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, it wasn't like a sudden like it shouldn't there's no reason why it should have happened situation. Like it wasn't like an overdose or something like that, you know.
yeah.
Tragic.
Or Betty White. Betty White was a good example as well.
Oh, that was too soon. Yeah, she should never have died. She should have lived
Yeah,
forever.
that was kind of a surprise as
Oh,
well.
that was a
The
gut punch.
actually my I'm gonna can I give a dox to myself? I've done it
Sure.
several times. The mayor of my city, Mississauga,
Mm-hmm.
um, recently passed away. Okay, now she was the mayor of Mississauga for how long? God, it was a long time. She was, let's see, uh, what age are you? Google. She was
Google.
101.
Oh my
She was
god.
101, and she was the mayor up until I think 2018
She's up there with Ray Anthony.
with Ray Anthony. So she was mad old, and she only recently died.
That's crazy.
So, that was kind of like a big thing of like, hey, this isn't necessarily tragic. Shout out to your legacy of being the mayor of my city for like over 50 years.
Mm.
She just kept getting voted back in. People are just like, yeah, let's just keep her going.
I would have been like,
So,
no, you can't vote me back in. I'm done.
please, please,
Please.
she was never young. She was always old.
Some people just look like old people.
Yeah,
Like
like look
Terry
at
Crews.
Christopher Lloyd, right?
Said,
Terry Crews. Did
I
you say
almost said
Terry
Terry
Crews?
Crews. No, I meant Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah, Terry O'Quinn from
Not Terry
Lost.
Crews.
John Locke.
John Locke from Lost. Yeah, he's always been
Yeah.
an old person, but he looks good though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Trying to find the time she was mayor. Anyway, that's irrelevant. I'll look that up later. But yeah, Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown
Mhm.
from Back to the Future. That guy's been old forever too.
Mhm.
Wait, never remember seeing him young. I don't.
Christopher Walken, yeah, he's been old for a very long time.
Yeah, that's an old guy. That's an old guy.
Christopher Walken.
Uh, So shout out to the old people.
Shout
Hey,
out the old people.
James, thanks for all the stuff.
James.
And hey, you did that
I'm
for as
ready.
long as you did.
I'm ready for the Lion King edits that are gonna be on TikTok.
Oh
Remember.
yeah. Remember who you are.
People are gonna be sobbing on TikTok tonight, me
Oh
included.
yeah. You are my son. Yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna be a big old mess.
frick. I literally every
No.
time I hear that song, I hyperventilate and burst into tears.
Yeah. Oh, we should watch Lion King.
When?
Now
Tonight?
we'll just cry, yeah.
I will cry. That movie makes me sob.
It already makes me cry, and then the layer of that.
Oh, that's yeah. I bet the
That was like, no, we can't mention that. It's too recent. I was gonna say a Walking Dead thing.
yeah.
Never mind.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Well, rest in peace to James Earl Jones. What a legend.
Yeah. What a legend.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. We're going to Disney next week.
Disney next week.
We're going back
go.
to Disney.
Well,
We really are.
so expect Disney Podcast Part 2.
I'm
okay?
gonna do
Then,
I'm gonna take a knee in front of the Tree of Life in Animal Kingdom for James.
that's true. A lot of people are gonna be, the Mufasa merch is gonna be flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
As well as the Darth Vader stuff, which is all in Disney World.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so next episode will be in Florida for the podcast.
Yes, so
again.
look forward to that. We're gonna be doing another. I know it's big fall right now. We're
Not
gonna be
in
doing
Florida.
one last summer episode. Yeah, one last summer episode. If you're feeling like a little nostalgic for the summer again, like you're already like, it's getting cold. I love the fall, but also like, that was a fun summer.
Mhm.
Tune into the MaeMaeTown podcast next week because it'll be summer again.
Yeah, and we're gonna do it on
Yeah.
Sunday because we're going to Disney Monday morning, so won't be with my computer. Basically, I bring my
Yeah.
computer with me when I go down. So yeah, it'll be Sunday night, Sunday afternoon probably instead of Monday.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Christmas personally. Yeah.
I'm ready for Christmas. I feel like
Yeah.
we could talk about the Christmas season, how much I love it for a while.
But
But
unfortunately,
we did just hit the 2-hour mark,
mm-hmm.
my friends, on all the platforms.
Yes.
What a packed episode. I feel like
packed.
emotionally this was all over the place.
Yeah.
We talked about some goofy stuff and then some serious business stuff and then RIP James. What a ride. That's like kind of why I look forward to these. So it's always a ride. That's why I'm like, what are we in for today? My stream announcement said, what did I say?
What did you say?
We got a lot. We have a lot and nothing in particular to talk about, as usual.
As always, forever.
As always. So, congrats on your free entertainment.
Congrats on your nothing and anything.
Yeah, and everything.
And everything, everywhere, all at once.
I'm gonna go make myself some toast.
Ooh, me too. Cinnamon?
That sounds lovely. Probably of the cinnamon variety. I wish I was making pizza toast, but I don't have the required ingredients. So I'm gonna just take my losses and do that.
Should we go play some Fields of Mystria?
We're gonna go play some Fields of Mystria and eat our toast.
Yeah. So I hope everyone has a great night or day if you're listening to this in the future, or night. Maybe it's night for you. I don't know.
Who knows?
I just hope
that's the best thing about the podcast. You can listen at any time.
You can be anywhere at any time. I listen to these episodes.
Except for Thursdays. If you're listening on Thursday, turn it off.
Hey.
Anyway.
Hey, I love one of my favorite things. One of my favorite content creators is Brittany Broski. Her podcast is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. I aspire to be just like her.
She's great.
She will like start her podcast episodes out and she'll be like, okay, everybody, if you're driving, hands off the wheel, eyes closed. Let's get into the podcast. That's my favorite thing.
I love that.
She'll be like, your hands off the wheel. I love it. Close your eyes.
If you're listening to this in your car right now, help.
Help.
I'm in the trunk. I'm in the trunk.
I love that. I'm in the trunk.
I'm in the...
But no, I hope everyone has a great week. If we don't see you on Twitch or anywhere of the sort. Hope you guys have a great week. Act your age. Don't act your age.
Great.
Your age.
No, good advice.
Don't act your age. Do act your wage.
Yeah, act the wage.
Don't take
Do the wage. Get paid.
don't take shit from your stupid boss.
Yeah, go
Yeah, I
watch The
said it.
Lion King.
Go watch The
Yeah.
Lion King. And
Do the Hokey Pokey and turn yourself around,
yeah,
chat. Have a good night.
and go look up some newspapers from the 1800s. It's oodles of
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. Our memory is pretty good. That's pretty good.
That was actually
Anyway,
very impressive. That was an impressive
yeah,
mashup.
that was good. That was it was nostalgic.
Yeah.
Why am I crying?
Why am I crying? I can't
Uh,
fucking deal with that. Anyways, guys, we love you so much. And
Love you.
we'll see you in Florida for the next episode.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Turn myself around.
And turn it around, baby. Woo!